You hang out there so that I can follow this with you. Okay. Okay, everybody gather around. You can on this side see this stuff. So we'll start there on A, which would be the fibrous tunica, and we talked about that in lecture. That's the outer part of the eye, okay? And so that consists of two things. Your sclera, the white of the eye, and here you can see it here, and the cornea. That's what that light first goes through is your cornea, right here, here, and here. Those are your corneas, okay? So white and cornea, sclera and cornea. Next is a fibrous tunica, and that's the next layer in. And so if you look at this, here again is the sclera, and that red right there is choroid. Right there is choroid. You can see it right there. And here it is on this one right here, the white and then the red layer is choroid. It's a vascular layer, okay?
Is it really red or just in the models?
Just in the models. Here, this is the sclera. You pull it off on this model like this, and this would be your choroid right here. It shows the blood vessels in it. Okay. And so this is it here. Actually, that red right there. So that's choroid. And underneath there also is ciliary bodies and ciliary muscles. And so as that choroid comes around here towards where the lens is, it bulges right here. And this whole area is a ciliary body. And in there are little muscles.
Sorry.
And those would be the ciliary muscles in there. Same thing here. This, together with that black, is the ciliary body, and the red would represent the ciliary muscles. And you can see the same thing here. Ciliary body with ciliary muscles. Suspensory ligaments, these are what hold the lens in place. The lens is actually in a capsule. And so the suspensory ligaments are represented by these white lines here. Okay, those white lines. Okay. And you can see them here on this one, these little white lines here. That would represent the suspensory ligaments. Now that's why you don't really see the white lines here, but you do see some lines in there. That would be the suspensory ligament, would be those lines in there. Okay. So, and next is nervous tunica, which is your retina, and that would be the inside lining of all these. Okay. This here, and this. That's all retina. Okay. And so that's where your sensors are. Now the parts of the retina you need to know is, and I'm actually going to pop this off because this is kind of a cool one too. Okay. There you can see those suspensory ligaments. See all those little yellow things? This area right here, that little yellow disc, and notice there's a dimple in the middle of it. So that's your macula lutea, and the dimple is your fovea centralis. Do you see that little dimple in there? See the little dimple? So that's the fovea centralis. Now that dimple, the fovea centralis, it actually is a dimple because you don't have the bipolar layer and the ganglion layer off the side, because what you have there is just all cones. And also most of that macula is all cones. And cones sense color and bright lights. That's what you're using right now. So right now as you're looking your retina, you're just using that part right there. You're not using anything else here. Okay? So you're focusing everything down right in this macula lutea. Okay?
And people who are colorblind, is that what's damaged?
No, it's not damaged. What it is, it's a genetic thing. You're missing the cones. Now I always forget this. I got to go back and look at it. But you have a cone that is sensitive to red, one that's sensitive to blue, and then one that's sensitive to yellow.
Yeah.
And what happens is they don't have one of those. And so rather than being trichromic, which would be those three, they're dichromic. There's some animals out there, species, birds that have like, I think 4 to 5 different chromatic receptors. They see really incredible colors, better than we do. You know.
It's probably because the insects they eat are so small and they probably have to see down.
Well, plus also, that's why you look at most birds, their reproductive rituals and stuff, usually that birds really involve a lot of color. I mean, look at like the, you know, real colorful, let's say like peacocks, you know, for example. Or what do I want to think of? I'm trying to think of another one. my mind.
Oh,
Pheasant is
Yeah.
a beautiful bird, and there's all the birds of paradise. There's a new thing out in the birds of paradise. That's in Papua New Guinea. These are incredible birds, just incredible birds. Okay, so that's where you're focused now. Now, all those ganglion fibers exit right here at your optic disc, and that's where blood vessels come out. And so this is your optic disc right here. Okay. And that's also your blind spot. When you read your book, it will tell you how to find your blind spot so that you can see that you actually have it. Because there's no receptors right here. Okay, that's where when the eye doctor looks in your eye, this is what he's looking at mostly right here, because you can see these blood vessels. Here you can see the macula lutea with a yellow dot in the middle would be the fovea, and then next to it is the optic disc. You see the optic disc where the blood vessels are coming out.
Yeah.
Right here. Here's the macula lutea with the fovea centralis in it. Okay, so this shows it really good right here. Let's see, what else did we have there? Yeah, ora serrata. Oh yeah, by the way, you don't see a good, on this model, you don't see a good optic disc because it's the way they designed it. This is the optic nerve coming through here. And so this is where your optic disc would be right here. It's just how they did it. And they don't have a good fovea or macula lutea on it either. So, but see this jagged line here, right there? That's your ora serrata, serration serrata. Okay, right there. Here it is here, in red, and here it is here, ora serrata. Okay. Conjunctiva. You have what's called ocular or bulbar conjunctiva. That's what's on your sclera that makes your eye look red. The only model that kind of shows it would be these blood vessels here, or potentially these blood vessels here. Okay. So that would be your bulbar or ocular conjunctiva. Palpable conjunctiva is what's under the underside